Today we're going to be doing what's called the valve lash adjusters on the Chrysler 3.5 high output liter engine. So sometimes it'll make that noise. I don't know if you heard that noise, cluck, 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 real fast, at low speeds, high speeds, whatever. We're going to go ahead, rip it apart. I believe it's this side that's making the noise, but I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do both sides. The manifold is going to have to come off. All the bolts for the manifold, anything attached to the manifold, it's going to have to come off. You're not going to need more than basic tools, sockets, wrenches, stuff like that to get this all apart. So what you got left here is the valve cover and valve cover. Now as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So I'm going to have to disconnect the fuel line rails, the coils, get this off, move it out of the way, and try to get this cover off without having to take anything else apart. Alright, the wiring's out. Finished taking out the coils to each cylinder. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just loosen up the cover and see if I can just finagle it without having to remove all this. You do have to disconnect the grounds on the side here. Don't forget to do that. Alright, so one cover is off. So now we gotta take these rockers off. 10 bolts. Alright, all the bolts are out. This should pop right out. Alright, we're going to take the whole assembly and put it on the bench. These are the pieces that we're going to replace. Now, how to replace these? That's going to be the tricky part. And I'm going to show you. That's one down, 11 to go. All right, as you can see, they're all in. So all the lash adjusters are in, and it was a nightmare to do this side. So I'm going to recommend, if you're going to do this job and you have ticking and all that kind of noise and one of these is shared off or whatever, just buy this whole thing as assembly. It's expensive, but it's well worth the work that saves you. And sometimes if you can damage these rocker arms trying to get these out, and you're gonna have to buy them anyways. So best bet from my experience so far, just buy the whole assembly already done. It's an easy swap. It'll save you a whole lot of time trying to save this and rebuild it. Alright, take the old gasket off. New gasket. Clean this up a little bit. Don't worry, I'm not using harsh chemical here. This is actually electronic cleaner. I don't want to use anything that's really harsh on the manifold or anything else. So I don't use brake cleaning, especially being plastic. Alright, this job is done. It was I'm going to say a 10 out of 10. It was difficult to do. I would not do this again. At least not try to rebuild the valve, the rocker arms. What I would do is I would just buy the whole assembly if I was going to do this. But I tried to cheap out, and it worked well. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep this car. I really don't. Chrysler is just nothing but headaches. God help you if you attempt to do this, because this was a nightmare. About 10 hours to do this. And I had some issues with some of the rocker arms. So it was not easy. Alright, God bless, take care. Catch you all in another video.